what's up, everyone? My name is Trent. This is Rams Talk. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing and commenting and liking. Big shout out to everyone that has joined the channel recently, and for all you diehards out there, thank you for contributing to the discussion in the threads and all the support. I really, really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. I appreciate that very much as well. And you can also find me at Real LA Rams Talk on Twitter if you want to hit me up there. So let's just jump into this Rams game against the Broncos. So guess what, everyone? The Rams are 6-0. It doesn't matter how they get there. They are undefeated. Last year at this time, they were 4-2. They had lost to the Redskins and they had lost to Seattle. But this year, they are 6-0. Yes, they won by 3 points against the Broncos. But look, that was an away game in the freezing cold against still a good team. Denver, even though they're 2-4, they have a lot of talent on that roster. Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, Lindsey and Freeman, Miller and Chubb. Chris Harris. They're a good team. And when you're playing in the elevation and you're playing in the cold, just get out with the win. That's all that matters. They were up 20-3 at one point. So, then Cooper Kupp gets injured. Saffold even goes down. Barron was on the sideline for a lot of the game, so I don't know what happened there, or some of the game, I don't know what happened there. But, with the Rams, what I talked about going into this game is what the Rams needed to do is really stuff the run. They did. They basically held the Broncos to 60 yards rushing when they averaged 137. And the Broncos only carried it 17 times for an average of 3.5 yards per carry, which their normal season average is 5.6. So it was 2 yards below their average carry, and that's big. On the other hand, the Rams really socked it to them on the ground. Todd Gurley is now the #1 rusher in football, and he broke off over 200 yards yesterday, and that was just fun to watch. Gurley is the best running back in football, hands down, and just watching the Rams feed him was fun. And personally, they could have fed him more and really blasted that game out of the water. But the Rams are also the #1 rushing offense in football. The Rams, to me, really kind of dominated that game. I don't want to let the score kind of mislead anyone. They had 10 more minutes in time of possession. They outgained them in total yards. They just played all around better than the Denver Broncos did. And although there was a very pivotal play in the game where Emmanuel Sanders caught that deep pass, was ruled down on the one, and then got the taunting personal foul, moved him back. That ended up being a field goal. That was huge. But really, the Rams were never it was never really a threat to the Rams. The Broncos weren't. Even when it came down to the onside kick at the end, did anyone really feel like that was going to go to the Broncos' way? So, they played from behind, and they were just, a lot of Keenum's yards are empty yards. That's what happened. So what I really liked about that game is what Todd Gurley did on the ground, and their kind of commitment at most of the time to running the ball. They had 39 total rushes as a team. 4 of those were Jared Goff's. But I really like Todd Gurley. That's just fun. I love having Todd Gurley on the Rams. I love having him on my fantasy team. It's just like every Sunday is just a present for me. Then Robert Woods stepped up again, had another great game. He had 7 catches for 109 yards. And I feel like he's kind of the go-to guy on this team in terms of throwing the ball. Now, the defensive line also stepped it up. Aaron Donald and Michael Brockers in particular really took it personal against the run. And Aaron Donald, he had that 1 sack, I think was like a 14-yard loss. But there were 2 other plays that I specifically remember where he busted through the line and chased Keenum back, where Keenum had to dump the ball out of bounds and throw it away. Those are just zero. It's as good as a sack without getting the minus yards. So Aaron Donald didn't have 3 sacks or anything like that, but his impact was real. Michael Brockers he took the previous week against Seattle personally and stepped it up. Johnny Hecker, 3 punts, 120 yards and special teams there. Great job. So really like those facets of the game. Now, what I didn't like so much, Jared Goff had an off game. Okay, what are you going to do? The interception, I don't want to say it was on him, but it tipped off the guy's fingers, hit Reynolds in the face, and then had a lucky bounce into their hands. So what are you going to do? Losing Kupp, I think, kind of threw him off a little bit. If Kupp had been in the game, then, maybe has a little more feel for it. But I mean, it's cold, and, you can't just be on every time. So what are you going to do? Where I really feel the Rams kind of let up was the play calling. And anytime you see like 3, 4, 5, 6 passes in a row without a run, especially when the Rams are just dominating it on the ground, I start to wonder. And I think Sean McVay realized that and pointed the finger at himself. And no big deal, Sean. You're still an offensive genius. And so, I think this going forward, even though the Rams rushed the ball for 39 times, they could have rushed it for 45, and I think that actually would have been a little better. But who am I, right? The pass blocking wasn't great. Chubb came in at 3 sacks, and that just goes back to like if the passing game isn't as effective and you're not getting those completions downfield, then run the ball, or even have some screens and take advantage of the aggressive Broncos rush defense, because I feel like they were just teeing off on Goff there. So I felt like that could have been mixed up a little bit. And the penalties, the Rams had 10 penalties for 81 yards. Got to clean that up. Had a lot of penalties against Seattle as well. Brandon Cooks, where did he go? I think he was probably just blanketed by Chris Harris, their all-pro corner. So, that was kind of a disappointment. And then Troy Hill. Yeah, Troy Hill got lit and he got beat, but, he guarded a good receiver. Emmanuel Sanders is legit. He's probably their best receiver this year. So, what can you do with that? I mean, just because a player on the Rams doesn't do great doesn't mean that they did terrible. I mean, sometimes you got to tip your cap to the other team and the other players. So, what are you going to do? But anyways, the Rams are 6-0, and that's all that matters. So they have a week to get ready for the Niners, who are playing tonight, who will have a short week. Probably the easier game that they'll have this year, but it's in San Fran. Who knows what Cooper Kupp's availability is going to be, but if he's going to miss a game, this should be it. So anyways, I feel good about this. Rams still in the driver's seat for the home field advantage, first round bye, all that stuff. So let's just get some guys healthy. Let's key on the 49ers and move forward. So, I'll get a 49ers video up in a couple of days after I watch the game tonight. Let you know my thoughts on that. But, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Someone just got in the car next to me. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. And, check out my other videos. Thanks for watching, everyone. I really appreciate your time. And until then, go Rams.